I'm going to use the D word. Death, dying, diarrhea, disclaimer. People don't die anymore, they pass or they're lost. But they die, and we need to start talking about it. We need to start planning for it. When babies are born, they just show up, they arrive, they're breathing, they're beautiful, that's it. And we've planned. We have not planned for death when somebody has had a life, they've lived, loved, graced the world with their presence. We need to have the conversations with our loved ones earlier than you think, often. It changes, it's fluid. You should have powers of attorney for everything that you could possibly think of. But just talk about it and it will change. Okay. I'm going to tell you the story about my mother's last year. She was a daughter, a sister, a nurse, a wife, a mother of 5. She was a great bridge player. She was a world traveler. She was a very organized person. She was very intuitive about people's feelings. And this is her legacy. There are lawyers, an engineer, a nurse, educators, entrepreneurs, computer people, I think that covers a doctor, and the cutest great-grandchild ever. My siblings and I worked together to help our parents. We agreed that the person on the ground could make a decision if we couldn't talk about it and it was going to be the right one. We each had strengths that we brought to the table. My sister and I worked closely together because it worked out that way. In April of 2014, she had a teeny tiny stroke, and we were off in New York City celebrating my birthday. She was discharged from the hospital on Thursday. My sister went home on Friday to check on her, and she called the rehab place and asked how Mom was, and they wouldn't even tell her where she was because she had gone back to the hospital. HIPAA, we can't tell you anything. The Health Information Portability and Accountability Act protects your health information, but obstructs the ability of your relatives to care for you. This is the Clostridium difficile bacterium. This is the cause of that bad infection in rehab. It causes screaming diarrhea, so nobody talks about it. I will revisit this. My mother had it. It was terrible. My brother said he thought she was going to die. My sister and I had a conversation with her, reaching far down into her lizard brain, which is concerned with survival, and asked her if she wanted to continue going on, or if she'd had enough and, I don't want to do anymore. She wanted to continue, and it really ignited our process to find the people who were going to help her. We were looking for people who would work with us. We were looking for people who would pay attention to detail. We looked for people who would not be looking at her as the old lady on the stretcher. And we put on our big girl panties that year. Okay, you know the ones I'm talking about, the spandex ones that make you feel invulnerable? Okay, so when you're dealing with this, you have to get up, get dressed, dress up, and work with the people. The drawback for C. diff is you are on contact precautions. So people have to wear gowns and gloves if they come in your room, your visitors, your caretakers. So that means people don't come in very much, and you don't feel the touch of human skin. So she was depressed, and she had a birthday. The advantage of having the door closed all the time is you can come in at night, climb all over the furniture without anybody yelling at you, and decorate for her birthday. So when she woke up the next day, it was beautiful. My brother got her the birthday cake, the flowers, the lunch she wanted. No birthday is complete without the crown and the jewelry and the magic wand. And it brought her back into the land of the living, and she went back to PT with a new vigor. This is October. She is back to her normal life. This picture was taken the day we went to see a specialist, and we had a conversation about what if the specialist says things are going badly, do you want more care? And I was able to videotape that using computers and telephones. Okay, the computers and the telephones enabled us to be in touch with each other all the time, and Evernote saved our sanity. It is a collaborative note-sharing program. You could take pictures of the doctor's orders, the prescriptions, you could make sure everybody had them. This cool cat was a level of self-care we could only imagine. Okay, but we needed to take care of ourselves. My sister and I's level of self-care was making it to the restaurant after spending the day in the hospital, and they had our drinks cold. Mom broke her hip the week before Christmas, and she decided to go home on hospice, and she knew she would die because we talked about it. So she was able to die in comfort and peace and in her own bed with her loved one saying goodbye. It was an honor and a privilege to steer our parents, through to the ends of their lives, and what we did for my mother was beautiful. And I learned to have the conversation and keep it going, and I hope I'm as lucky as they were.